Oh well, you're going to tell me about this during the pod, are you? Because I know nothing about it.
Well, when I reached out to some guests, to some brewers, I finally heard back from
Okay, cool.
Steve.
Of course, it's going to be Steve.
It's always
Only Steve.
Steve. I don't know why it's
Yeah,
always Steve, but it's Steve.
yeah,
Which
Steve.
Steve, though? This is Steve Giles. Steve Giles is the owner operator of Sober Island,
Ah,
and he's got some suggestions, and I love the suggestions. Oh my! And because he responded just this afternoon after I'd posted what we were doing tonight, and he said, "Well, since you're doing IPAs tonight, we should do some dark beers together." And I said, "Well, I mean, we're not." We're not against that, so that'll be next week. But I'm trying to find the logistics of who's going to be in the area. But I often go down to visit my dad, so I think unless you have any Halifax bound trips next within the next 6 days.
nothing planned, but never say never because we're all over Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace these
Okay.
days, trying to furnish our house. And there have been some things that showed up that we thought, oh, that looks nice, or maybe we can. And if they're in the Halifax area or anywhere really that's beyond anywhere out of the valley these days, since gas is like $1 million a litre, we have to think whether or not it's worth travelling
Well,
that far just for something small. You know what I mean these days. So if it's a sizable investment, you never know. We might find ourselves
yeah.
in Halifax, but certainly can't promise.
I'll write back to him with some plans. But he was
All right.
asking if we were going to be at Together We Brew this weekend, and I'm like, I I feel like it's the time of year that I just cannot get myself organized. Or someone says, "Hey,
I
you
would
doing
love.
that thing?" And I'm like, "When?" For the first
Yeah.
few months of the year, I'm sort of talk to me in June. In June, I kind of have my act together and I know what's happening in the fall. But spring,
No.
winter, no, I don't know what I'm doing.
Have we been to one before? Did we
No,
go to
no,
one?
we've never been
No.
to one of those. Science
No.
of beer is often in the fall, late spring. I don't remember.
I would love to be able to go to a nice fest,
Same.
but you know how it is.
Yep.
I'm working night shift this weekend, so I did see that was coming up a month or so ago, and immediately thought, well, even if we could
I,
kind of wing it, sorry, swing it to get there, you got to think then you've got to be holding up for the night in Halifax if you're
yeah.
going to a fest, a beer fest event, and even then I couldn't do anything because obviously my work gets in the way of it. So
We need to
yeah, same.
we need to meet some fancy restaurant owners in the downtown area and then just crash in their loft on their very expensive leather couches.
Good plan. I like it.
I think we'll just do that. Anyway, regardless, if we are all set, oh yeah, lots of talk about afterwards. But if we are, you seem ready. You seem set. We're in our. God, we look so dour. It is 8:06, so we're starting late. I am Ross. Joining me is my co-host Ian, and together in the absolute doldrums of the winter that won't go away, we are attempting to drink Nova Scotia Dry. It's the winter blahs seasonal affective. Wait, what is it called? Seasonal affective disorder. What's
Yeah,
so?
sad. Something sad.
It's such a great song. Have you heard that song?
No.
A local, well, Halifax artist. Oh, now I got to look that up. Hang on. Seasonal effectiveness disorder. Uh,
That's it. It's a thing, by the way. There's no denying it. It's not a myth. It's not a fantasy. I definitely, the older I get, the more I think I not suffer, because suffer sounds like it's a disease or something. But I'm definitely yeah, sorry, I suffer from it.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't used to believe it when people would say they get kind of sad, but I'm like I realized that we used to call it hibernative. I,
Yeah.
and I've
There's no sun, therefore you get no vitamin. You've got to have to keep your vitamins up, and you just don't get any sunlight, and you're like, and you just sort of feel
Yep.
all the time. There's
It was
no
Laura
energy.
Roy. Laura Roy out of Halifax released a
Mm.
song this past January, so it's actually probably newer than some of these beers.
Right.
And it is called "Sad" Seasonal Affective Disorder, and it's a beautiful little
Right.
song. I'll send you a link to it. But the
Thank
the,
you.
the other thing that because someone this was actually the mother of my older daughter, my co-parent. She once had these collections of quotes, and I helped her put together these collections of quotes. So I committed one to memory because I loved it so much, and I can't attribute it to anyone. At the time, I think it was supposed to be to Alfred Lord Tennyson or something like that. I forget who it was, or was it Hemingway? It was one of the two. It was one of the two names, and I've looked it up online. But the quote goes, if it's not exactly, it's very similar to, "I feel as though I am part bear, for the urge to hibernate through winter is so strong." And I really
Okay.
feel that. I feel that part of it. I don't know if
That
it's seasonal affective,
sounds
or I just get sleepy and tired through winter.
that sounds more. If I was gonna put my life on it, sounds more Hemingway than Tennyson.
Mm.
But I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
And she had it attributed as a quote, and I've tried looking up the quote since, and I haven't found it. So
There was one beautiful one, and today really felt like it. I was out. I was in the backyard, away from the prevailing wind, sat there on a bench in the sunshine, stroking a pussycat from next door, thinking, "Oh, this is glorious! It's finally a spring day," because it was sunny. And then I walked round the corner of the house, and this biting wind hit me in the face. It was like, "Oh yeah, it's still winter." That's what it felt like. And there is something. What is that very famous quote from a book? I don't know if it's Winnie the Pooh. I can't remember. And it goes basically. It was one of those spring days where it's summer in the sunshine and winter in the shade, or something along those lines. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, today felt like that.
Like
But
perfect for that.
but at least it was sunny, because the really tough ones are when it's summer in the sunshine and winter when a cloud comes by. So
Yeah,
you're
that's
walking down
right.
the street, sort of, what a beautiful day, and one
Yeah,
little fart of a
yeah,
cloud, one little jerk just goes by, and all of a sudden,
yeah.
oh, I should have worn 9 more layers. What is this?
Well,
It's
then you should spend July in Edinburgh, because we had that in July in Edinburgh
mm,
a couple of years ago. We changed we took our jackets off and put them back on again twice, just walking along a field, didn't we?
now
We changed our clothing like 3 times within the space of about 2 minutes,
if
because it went behind the sun. The sun went behind a cloud. It's crazy.
if you want an applicable quote for that, there's a Billy Connolly one that I heard many, many years ago, and it was quite simple. He says, "There are 2 seasons in Scotland, June and winter."
Yeah,
So
yeah, I'm
that
with that.
applies.
Yeah, I'm with him.
Anyway, yeah, we'll be quoting everyone all night. Obviously, we're into our very famous quotes decision. But what we are having tonight is New England IPAs, or hazy-esque, or an unclear, or an unfiltered,
Mhm.
but kind of a hazy thing. We struggled. We had a long conversation about this because there's a number of IPAs in there, and we were trying to find ones. I didn't want to showcase an entire spectrum of IPA. Let's have a hazy IPA, and let's have
Mhm.
I don't know what, like a, and then yeah, there's a milkshake IPA, and I want it to be a little bit more comparative. So we have 2 New England IPAs, and then one which isn't a New England IPA, but we know the brewer, and he very much. I think it would fit in with that stuff. So I think these ones are going to be very similar. And here's the other thing, is because they are going to be hazy-ish, have I been standing mine upside down for the last few hours? Yes, I have. This is the equivalent.
Oh,
It's the
interesting.
slow motion shake, when you shake it up in order to get all the, if you have a glass of, or a bottle of juice, you shake
Yeah.
it up before you pour it out and get it all mixed up. But you can't do that with a beer, because then you explode it all over your desk, like I constantly do. But these are a little heavier, because they're IPAs, the New England IPAs. So here it is. It's from Half Cocked Brewing Company, out of where Pictou? Are they right in Pictou? I gotta look this up. This is next.
Antigonish.
Oh, but they're north. They're north of Antigonish, are they not?
I believe Half Cock's the closest to Antigonish. But hey, listen, I
North
might be wrong.
North Grant, wherever the
Right.
hell North Grant is. And I thought, is North Grant is north of Antigonish. So you were right. I thought it was north of New Glasgow out towards Pictou, but that is incorrect. They are all
Right.
the way along in Antigonish. Well, I know what I'm doing when I'm visiting my daughter at university next year. Womp womp.
Hmm. Have we had? I mean, how many Half Cocks have we had? Quick for your
One or two?
1 or 2. Yeah, we haven't. I know they're quite uh I know we haven't had many, because even when I looked at the can and thought half cocked, I was like scratching my head thinking,
Oh,
there's none readily coming to my mind, but I know we must have had at
we
least a
had
couple.
one, and it was just the sour, and I think you weren't here. I think
Well, that's good then.
I think Brittany and I tried it because I often bring her in for sour interpretation night, patent pending. But
Yeah.
so the beautiful peach to blue can, look at the colors switching there, and I do enjoy their logo. So right at the top you've got the Half Cocked Brewing Company, and it's sort of a chicken rooster head, but coming out of the bottom, so the feathers almost transition seamlessly into the bottom of the hop. The
Oh,
I want to say
yeah.
scales, but that's not right. What are the leaves, the individual smaller leaves on a hop, giving it that kind of pine
Mm,
coney look? Anyway,
yeah.
and no description on here, but on the back, and the three word tradition that is Nova Scotia craft beer: juicy, smooth, tropical. Proudly
Cool.
brewed in North Grant, Antigonish County, so that could be it. However, looking it up online, here is Instagram. The Half Cocked Brewing Instagram feed says, help us in welcoming our newest creation, Perfectly Unclear New England IPA, to our tap lineup, coming in at 6.3% and pouring a beautifully hazy golden color with big floral and tropical notes, courtesy of 2 large dry hops and almost no bitterness. This beer aims to please. 2 large dry hops and no bitterness? I'm okay.
Juicy, smooth, and tropical. What do we like? What do we look for in an NEIPA, Ross?
Oh, the opposite of those 3 words.
Absolutely.
We don't
That's
like
right.
that kind of.
Juicy.
Oh,
You're getting a nose already?
getting a
Juicy.
delightful nose. And yeah, so moving out towards with the daughter going to Antigonish next year, I'm definitely gonna have to stop in. I've already got the mug, or the glass, the pint glass from Candid. I'm gonna have to get a pint glass from Half Cocked now. It'll be my next one to
What's
collect.
the what's the university up there that she's going to be joining?
Saint FX.
Saint FX.
STFX.
Saint Francis Xavier.
Yes. Famous
Yes.
Nova Scotian for
Yeah.
um
Exactly. L- yeah. For that.
oh, he's a missionary or something.
Right. Oh, that Francis
That
Xavier.
Francis Xavier. Yes, okay. One of the
Um,
greatest Roman Catholic missionaries of modern times. I mean,
okay.
define modern times. 1500?
Well, I was just watching the Morgan Freeman Dinosaurs, the documentary on Netflix.
Oh, how
That
is
was
that?
old. That was old-fashioned. So comparatively speaking, 1500s is, yeah, modern times. You didn't miss much, by the way. The documentary was. It was. I watched it and thinking, I've seen this a million times before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it had Morgan Freeman in it, so it's pretty cool. But it was all very, very one-paced, and it was felt like it was aimed at like 11-year-olds that haven't seen CGI before and marveled at it. That's what it felt like to me.
Well,
Bit of a
I
waste,
keep
really.
looking at it because my 3-year-old likes dinosaurs, and I'm like, should I watch this
Yeah.
with him? And I don't know if it's quite paced. I don't know where
Yeah,
we are
no, I
there.
think that would be okay. Although of course, when T-Rex comes in, it looks exactly like it did in Jurassic Park,
So we
because
should.
it's also, yeah, it's the same thing. It's basically it's produced by Steven Spielberg again. The whole show is, so it definitely has a feel of Jurassic Park, but voiced by Morgan Freeman. So it feels like it's already 35 years old, even watching it.
Okay.
Whatever.
Well,
I've got this all in my. It's like ice cream, Ross. I
it
want to
it
lick it.
it is. Look at I've got a nice. Do you have a nice
You do too.
frothy bit on the top there? This
Yeah,
I am very excited about this. I gotta tell you.
me too.
Still smells delicious. Still seems
Thanks
delightful.
for indulging me, by the way. Thank you for indulging me. When we said what we were going to do yesterday, and I basically said,
When we
"Oh,
said,
I
I
said
believe I got a
IPA."
message from you just saying, "Can we please do IPAs?" And then we decided to do
Yeah, I know.
IPAs.
I said, "Please, please, 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 can we do it?" And you said, "Well, I guess we have to do that,
Yeah.
don't we?"
How can I say
Yeah.
to no to that? I believe was my response. Right. Well, this is
Yeah.
this is certainly ready for a first few sips.
Yours looks amazing. Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.
Oh yes. Yep. That is
Oh
that is what
yes.
we like. That is what we look for. That is the qualities that we have begun to really appreciate about certain IPAs, and it's all there. I mean, look. So the thickness, that does just look like a thick, yeah, a nice orange juice. Mm.
Did you notice though, I mean, look, I've been looking forward to this all day because it was a lovely, lovely, nice day. Even though it was chilly, the sun was out, etc. And I knew at the end of it, there was some IPAs coming up at the end of it. Because if it wasn't Ross and a beer night, I probably would have stuck into a nice, juicy, hazy IPA this evening anyway. So this is perfect. But did you notice right at sort of 3/4 of the way through it, there was just this little hit of bitterness, and then it went away again. So it was like a 3/4, very, very juicy, very, very tropical up front. And for the most part of it, and by the way, incredibly smooth, creamy mouthfeel.
Oh yeah.
But then there was this bitterness that kind of came in, and I went, "Oh, there's some," and then it dissipated just as quickly.
Yeah, I'm not even prepared to call it a bitter. It's the hop flavor. It's got a beautiful hop flavor at the back that does leave barely any bitter. I mean, it's smooth the whole way through. But
Again,
it starts with the juicy, the very grapefruity, orange, citrusy up front,
yeah.
and the
Oh,
mouthfeel
amazing.
creaminess throughout, and then the tail end it turns into this lovely hop flavor. Who are we that we're sitting around on a cold winter, not a cold winter's day, but a nippy spring day, thinking, okay, it's all right out, but it's the end of the day, and I'm a little cold. I'm a little, I've got seasonal affective depression. I just really want to sit down with a nice juicy IPA, don't I? Isn't that what I want to do? What's
Because
going on?
we've totally come full circle. There's no point in denying. I mean, we've done the full 180 now. I was asking you, please, please, can we do some IPAs? And yet 3 years I'd have been going, oh God, it's IPA night. Oh please, no, this is going to be horrible. This is how I feel about Northeast IPAs now, New England
We,
IPAs. And by the way, I looked it up yet again just to confirm, and it is historically New England IPAs. The term came around in the very early 2000s when New England
yep.
brewers started to give us this big tropical thing that to differentiate it from the classic IPAs. But the term Northeast IPA, which Smokehouse Brewing have done,
Mm-hmm.
and we've noticed it on two or three others. They said it's not the internet. The internet says this, and it's never been wrong before. That it's not necessarily interchangeable. However, the term has kind of, the further north it's gone, it's become looser, and people have now associated it with Northeast, the entire sort of area, rather than just New England. That's what I was getting out of it.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter again. What's in the name?
I
Who
think it's come
cares?
up a couple times. This is a New England IPA from the Northeast. And it's like, well, that's kind of
Yeah.
what New England is. I mean,
Yeah. So whenever I say Northeast IPA and then quickly correct myself, I'm going to stop doing that because I don't care anymore.
it's probably
They're
interchangeable
just
enough.
it's the style of the IPA that we prefer.
And because that's the other thing. It's not that we suddenly. I don't think we'd suddenly like things that we tried. Like if we went back in time and tried the exact same beers that we were trying 5 years ago, going ooh, I don't think we'd be smacking our lips and saying delicious. What were we thinking? I do think the
They've
beer
got better.
quality has improved. I think
Me
it
too.
really has. Like this smoothness, creaminess, and just the
Yeah.
stylings for sure. It's no longer just a bitter fest.
Do you think then, in another 2 or 3 years' time, I'll be saying, "Oh, Ross, tomorrow night, can we do, please, 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 sours?"
No,
Okay.
I don't think you'll be begging for sours. I mean, I try them. I wouldn't say I look forward to them. If I've had one before, for example, the cranberry sour down the way on a really hot day when I go in and I'm trying to show someone and I say here I'll have one with you, and I'll think to myself, yeah, I know what I'm getting into now. I know what speed to drink it. I know not to toss a whole huge amount of it into my face and try to
Right.
swallow it quickly. But
I would, just to get rid of it quick, so I
Mm.
don't have to prolong the agony. But you're far more familiar with them now because anytime we get hold of sours, invariably your wife is helping you helping you out, and that's where I feel it is. So I'm not even getting them anymore, which is I'm fine with that, Ross, because there is probably one kind of traditional kettle sour which we did, and I said that's actually not too bad. It's the best of a bad bunch. But there was one, of course, the milkshake sour from Two Crows.
Oh, that
My
the crazy,
beloved
the
and long lost
smoothie one that was
was
just
madness.
plop, 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 plop.
I loved it. I loved it,
And
and
yeah,
despite itself, I
when
loved it.
one comes up and it just defies all conventional logic of what a beverage is supposed to be, I say, okay,
Yeah,
Ian's got to try this one.
yeah, it was
It
madness.
had to be experienced before it went away, and went away it did. Cough.
If ever there was an evening where I needed to hold back at least 2 fingers of beer, this might be it. This might be it.
Mm,
I have to hold. By the way, I don't want this to end. This is so delicious, so creamy, so tropical, thirst quenching.
it's
Just a
very good.
tiny bit of bitterness in it. It's everything now that I've come to love in a New England IPA. I love it. It's absolutely one of the best IPAs I've had, and I'm including that with the Frig Off and the Pollyanna. It's so delicious. Rebecca, I know you said you maybe weren't going to have any this evening. I've got to hold at least a little sip of this for you. It's amazingly good. It's half cocked, perfectly unclear NEIPA. It's so
It's quite
delicious.
good.
Half cocked. That's the name of the brewing company. They're near Antigonish.
And there's a
north of there.
rooster, so it's a rooster
It's
reference.
a rooster with a cock, surely.
Oh,
Half a
the
cock.
year, yes, where you go to a Chinese food restaurant and look at the Chinese zodiac as a child, and it says "cock" in big letters.
Yeah.
The year of the cock, and you giggle
Is that
profusely
good?
to you and your friends.
When I smelled
Yeah.
it smelled perfect.
Um,
When I tasted it tasted perfect.
oh, brilliant. I thought you were going to say it wasn't good. It's so good, isn't it?
It is the
Oh my
full package,
God.
isn't it?
It's very good.
Really,
It's
really.
refreshing.
Oh, so refreshing.
It's light and
I've written in
Creamy.
a
yummy.
tentative 9.2 for me, but I'm trying to figure out what's stopping me from giving it full points. Like,
Oh, look, I mean,
what
there's
what
still
could improve?
there is still a creamy head to it,
Mm.
and it's like 1 inch above
yeah,
the
well,
bottom of the glass for a start.
it
And it's
definitely has the legs.
it's got the legs all the way down. I'm loving it, and oh my God, it's good. Well, that was easy. It's a 9.5 from me, and that's just because I don't know. I want to hold, but like you, I don't want to go 10 and then find something is just blows my head off
Yeah.
with wonderfulness and then regret it. At the moment, I'm tentatively give it a 9.5, but it's subject to correction.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Comet. Upside down. I'm gonna write it here. Tanner and Brewing. In fact, this was the conversation we had the other week. Speaking of, we were off last week, and I finally made the executive decision when you were off, and I was scrambling for things because we've got a number of beers, and usually I've got some and you've got some, and I struggle through, and I think, well, what can I drink without him? And I went through the whole list, and I said, no, I want to drink that with Ian, I want to drink that with Ian, and sometimes I just go and sort of just flop one in and sort of, oh yeah, maybe I'll just try some of these, or we've had these before. And I didn't want it to feel fully phoned in, so I just decided, since I didn't have you, every now and then I think I'm just going to take a night off when you're not there and I don't have something planned in. And then, of course, it made me plan something for the next time that you're off, so it's not exactly going to be a thing. Anyway, all this just to say, we were off last week. Meh. But we're back.
I'm really glad that you chose to do that because, my God, it sounds like you need to give yourself and your wife a night off. Like together to do, and I know you're both busy with your various things, and therefore, what the heck is the problem with just having a Wednesday off every 1 week out of 4? Even though you're going to miss it, I can tell you are.
You've said to yourself that you're going to do something weekly, and you do it, and I don't know why. I hold
Well,
it.
Don't beat yourself up over it, man. It's 1 week every month.
My
And,
hobby ethic is so much more fierce than my work ethic.
Your hobby
I'll
ethic.
slack off at work. I have no problem with that. But
Yeah, fair
hobby
enough.
ethic, you're like, oh, I said I was going to do this hobby, and I really need to do this hobby. And you start to
Yeah.
do that hobby, and then all of a sudden it becomes not only a second job, it becomes the first job, because the first job, the real job, you don't treat seriously. It's definitely
Yeah, that's true.
it's definitely a personality.
Yeah. All right then. All right, I'll change my mind. You're just a bloody quitter. So,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
get back to it. By the way, before we go anywhere else, right at the top, I know you were saying that you're kind of assuming that that this comet is also an East Coast. I don't think it is. I think this is going to surprise us.
I think you're probably right, but hear me out, because when I went, so I picked this up from Tanner and Brewing down in Chester Bay. So Tanner and Brewing Company down in Chester Bay, and Danny Tanner, I went around to his place because he has a little shop in his garage and it was open. 6.5%, it says on there, and I was having a look, and they've got, there were so many. I think I took 4, and that was such a small percentage of the ones that I wanted to take away with me. But I said, let's have this IPA, and he went and brought it to me because it said Comet Hazy IPA was on the shelf. But when he brought it to me from out the fridge, because it was an empty can, he have the empty cans on display. The new can just says IPA. And I said, why'd you drop the hazy? And he says, well, what was happening was that because you can't shake up the can, it would settle and all be at the bottom. So when people poured it, it wasn't hazy anymore, because they'd only pour the top half into a small glass and then say, how come your beer's not hazy? And I said, so you had to change it because people are idiots? He did not say yes. He's not saying that people are idiots. It was a rebranding decision, and that's fair enough. And then he mentioned to me, and he came up with this, or he made the suggestion, and I said, I have done this before, is when I have a beer, I'm just about to drink it, and I just place it upside down. You don't shake it up. You just place it upside down for a little while, maybe a half hour, an hour, and then at the last minute, you tilt it back up straight, and then when you pour it, things are maybe, it's probably going to be hazier than you'd expect from something that just says Comet IPA. Now, on the side, having said all that, so this is where the upside downness thing came from, and its inclusion along here, because Danny Tanner also makes a lot of more malt forward Bavarian style beers. I find style. So I was hoping that was going to be the case. We're kind of just making this up. Bursting, with bold citrus, tropical fruit, and a hint of pine. This IPA showcases the unique character of Comet hops. Its soft, pillowy mouthfeel and juicy finish make every sip a celestial experience. Let your taste buds orbit around this hop-forward delight. Hint of pine.
I got things from that. What I got from that is I did pick up on citrusy rather than tropical fruits. I also picked up on pine, and I picked up on hop forward. Now I'm thinking this is going to be more of a maybe central Canada, but I'm thinking it might be a bit of a Westie myself.
I'm now realizing that as well.
Yeah, possible. But it does also say, of course, it's bursting with juicy blah blah blah, blah tropical fruit and everything. So you just anyway, let's hold off until we give it a go. And that's not necessarily a bad thing for me these days, because as you know, I'm giving over now. I'm giving in to the Westies as well. I still prefer the East Coast version, but I've come around to some hoppiness now, not just tropical, juicy, hazy, thirst quenching stuff.
The smell I got off of this was, and you'll forgive me, dank. It had the bit of the Mary Joanna smell to it.
Yeah, a bit weedy.
A bit weedy.
Oh, by the way, are you going to change your backdrop? Is there time to do that?
Oh, it's time to do that. Yes, it is. Absolutely. I'm going to wait for the head to go down.
Yes, there is a bit of weediness. That word dank is wonderful. We were talking about it before, and I was like, because I was trying to remember the name of Rick Danko, isn't it? Rick Danko. Yeah.
I don't need to change my background because I was already at Tanner and Company, because I didn't have one for Half Cocked yet. So.
Oh, I see. That is Tanner's. Okay. Oh, I just sniffed my empty glass. I forget which hand I put to my, and there was nothing. I got no bouquet there, nothing. I was like, oh yeah, there's nothing in it yet.
Do you know
that's really good?
The dank smell, the mix of the hops and everything. I'm getting. It's triggering a memory because for some reason it smells like hazelnuts to me, but I think that's just the mixture of everything involved. I was quite wrong
Oh
about the
no,
haziness.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is a bit weedy, but Ross, there it is again. The butter.
The butter beans, yeah,
Butter
it's a bit
bean.
of a Westie. It's a bit of a butter bean. I don't think
Yeah.
this is gonna fit. I was wrong. I made wild assumptions that this might fit in with the New England ones. We should have gone with the hazy. Oh well.
No, that's fine because, well, then, yeah, I know that you said you wanted to go like for like, but hey, if ever there was an opportunity then to pit East against West, if you need any final um, decision making from which one you prefer. And by the way, this might be an excellent West Coast IPA, and there's no reason to suggest it wouldn't be because it's Tanner and Co. When have they let you down before?
Honestly, I don't think yet. I don't think just yet.
The
Interesting
smell
smell
is,
off of this.
yeah, absolutely. It's
Very
very,
interesting.
very, very different.
Mm.
Yeah,
Nutty.
nutty. You're getting on.
I
Right,
was getting
nutty.
kind of a nutty something, and I'm not sure if that's just a mix of the yeast and the hops and everything. Oh, I'm reading the story of the beer. That's not quite right.
Yeah.
Unique
Oh,
character of Comet hops.
yes.
Unique Comet hops.
So, what's unique about them?
Well, we're
Quick
gonna
to the
find out.
internet. While you're doing that, do you mind if I just sip,
Have at
or
it.
do I need? All right. Cheers.
Let's go. Cheers.
Mm. Mm.
Whoa!
It's got a fabulous creamy mouthfeel. That is
What is?
but wow, that is
Oh,
it's not crazy West. It's too smooth. It's definitely bitter.
yeah. It's far more
Very,
bitter.
very yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. Piney, not no, it's not banging me with pine, but there is pine there. You see, the thing is, I kind of like these now. I kind of like these too for different reason. It's still. I tell you what it's doing. It's doing that thing that all of them did to us before. Where we went. Ooh, ugh. It's doing that to me a little bit. It's
Oh, is
making
it?
the
Is it?
hair
Okay.
stand on the back of my head
The,
because of the juiciness of the last one and the hazy and fruity thing of the last one.
oh,
It's yeah. It makes it even more
yeah.
bitey and even more. But
Ev-
I kind of get off on that now.
It's not a record scratch bite to me, but here's I'm getting a description on the Comet hops, and here's the bit that is really sticking out for me is intense grapefruit, citrus, dank or wild grassy notes. And I honestly feel like I'm just eating a handful of wildflowers.
Oh, hey, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just that
Yeah,
interesting, that really that's the bitterness that I'm like dandelion.
and it hangs around as well. I've got it now.
It does hang around.
It hangs around and it's very
Okay, this
dry.
is not
It's very dry.
what I was expecting. I'm getting a little bit of a haze of a little bit now, so it's not
Right.
perfectly clear. But this is okay. And honestly, I love that this is the Comet IPA. So basically, it's saying these hops are a specific hop. They're a little different. They're kind of earthy. They're grassy. They're
Yeah.
this kind of thing. So the name of it and it does say I think it showcases the unique character of Comet hops. Honestly, the uniqueness of this does seem to be coming from the Comet hop itself. It's not coming from some sort of back deal thing. He hasn't chucked in an armful of rusty nails. This is featuring very prominently and very well the name on the can, the type, and the hop variety that he's chosen for it. So I think that's a really cool idea. I would love it if I were to try an IPA, or like a night of IPAs. I would love this is an IPA that's made the exact same way, but with this kind of hop. I would love to try all the different hops one night.
Two people I know that I think would be all over this. My brother being one, and Ananda would probably pounce on this.
Oh, you think so?
I think so. I think he gets definitely he gets the hop. He's a bit of a hophead, is he not? I think he really
is.
and he knows and he can distinguish between them, and he picks up on those notes that maybe that in the past I've gone ugh, and just shied away from. He can pick up very distinctly. Rebecca can do that as well, but I'm not sure if she's going to even want to try this. It's definitely a bit of a Westie, Rebecca.
Yeah. This is definitely not my personal favorite. Not especially after that perfection of a New England IPA. This is a bit more of a Westie, but just a little bit weird. It's not a full-on that's too hoppy. But I think it's just the uniqueness of the hop. It is not overpowering. It's just weird. It's just different. It's literally wildflowers and grass. It's grassy.
Grassy
It is a
would be
grassy
perfect.
semi-Westy IPA.
Hey, can you say definitely the I don't get the thirst quenchiness from the West Coast that I do from the from the East Coast, and of course that's perfectly because a big fruity glass of orange juice is very refreshing, is it not? And you don't get that from a West Coast IPA.
No.
You get the piney thing, and you get the and the bitterness and slight sourness and all that. But it's not
think
really.
it's there to quench your thirst. It's not there. No,
I don't think so. Yeah, I want you to try it though, Rebecca. Would you just take just a little swig of it for me? And because I want to see your face go. Take that away from me.
It's distasteful in a different way. This is a completely different level of I don't like that for me.
Oh, go on, just try a bit. Okay, here we go.
I'll
do the.
It's not disgusting. It's just it's not for me. I'm not into this flavor.
It smells like stale nuts.
Stale nuts. Yeah. That doesn't sound good. I'm going to try and do the face now on that she's going to pull for it when she drinks it.
Oh, good. I'm glad we have.
Oh, that was it. It was this.
Glad we have third-hand facial expressions on this audio-only podcast. This is important.
Yeah, sorry about that. She's puckered up a lot, and her eyes kind of went skyward because it does have a bitterness to it. And like you said, is it? They said dank. Is it? You're getting a dank.
We said dank. We immediately said dank.
But I think I said there sort of 5 minutes ago. I kind of get off on this now. You know.
Great one.
You know.
I still think that's a great one.
Well, I don't know if it's a great one, but what I'm thinking is, it is easier than the huge pop hits that I'm still shying away from because I'm still not one of those curry boys that wants to have the hottest curry on the menu just to say I did that. I still don't want to have a single malt, single hop smash 5%er, which literally cuts. It almost cuts my tongue in half.
So,
right. So
I survived this beer. It was so chewy. It put hair on the chest of the guy sitting next to me, kind of thing.
I still don't want that. I still want, but I maintain that this is actually smooth. It's got a creaminess to it, so it makes it immediately. It's not sharp. It's quite smooth. There is a sharpness to it because it's a Westie. But it's lessened. The effect of that sharpness is lessened because it has a nice creamy mouthfeel. Yeah. And I think that's the third time I said that this evening. But I expect it from the East Coast ones. I don't necessarily expect it from a hop forward West Coast, and it does have that about it. So the backbone is and the backbone is quite it's quite full bodied, but it's very smooth and it's hoppy without going crazy, and there is a slightly weird nutty wildflower thing going on, but I like it. I dig it, and I will happily chew on this and finish it.
Do you know?
Quite happily.
Do you know when I'd want one of these? If I were a fisherman and I were breathing in saltwater spray all day.
This is particularly specific.
That's when I'd want one of these. This, if you can imagine, so imagine This would go down really. You know, like when you take the salt, you lick the salt off, and then you squeeze the lemon, and then you drink the tequila.
Yeah.
This would taste really good right after a mouthful of the saltiest thing you've ever had.
To balance the saltiness.
Yes.
Okay.
Or just to cut through it. I feel like if I had a layer of saltiness that I couldn't get out of my mouth, just being out on the water all day or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
From all the time I spent as a longshore fisherman out in the deep.
Good to see you do that now.
Right,
Yeah.
just off the Meridian, Marianas Trench there. I don't know, some fishing terms or something. I'm catching them big tuna. I don't know. I feel like if I can imagine a bunch drinking this makes me wish I had salt on my tongue right now. I wish I was eating something salty to go along with this. Like just some regular, very salted chips or whatnot.
This is the first night on a Wednesday evening I've done a podcast with you where I didn't have any peanuts because I used them all up and I forgot to get a bag. Therefore, I can't even put any nice salted peanuts. You see me, I do that every week because I like having some sort of nuts to chew on while I'm eating.
Are you nearby to a salt shaker?
Yes, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to pour salt in my mouth, and I know you're not. You're in the basement, so you've got to go up a level. I am. I can see the salt from here, but I'm not that committed to this.
You don't
weird.
feel like the imaginative source of, like, I'm still feeling it right now. I feel like my mouth craves salt drinking this beer. I don't know.
All right, listen then. Would you wait 5 seconds?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll give this.
I'm fairly certain I'm capable of filling 5 seconds of dead air with my voice. I've done it a little bit longer than that.
Which is why it's nice that you give yourself a week off every month now, so you don't have to do like a 45, 50 minutes of that. I've got a salt shaker in my hand.
All right.
Already. It's a look, as you can see, it's a classic.
That is the diner
classic.
down the road kind of thing.
Absolutely. Did
you steal that from Callister's?
Hold him. No, that would be.
I guarantee you, Callister's has the exact same, because those look like Irving Big Stop salt shakers.
Do they really?
I know.
I think they've tumbled your game. I've just given up the merchandise online. I don't believe that to be the case, but if it is, we'll hand it back. No, this is definitely one of Rebecca's. What do I do then? Do I just load it into my mouth, or what?
If you want to give 2 or 3 shakes into the palm of your hand, just have a little bit of crystal there, and then just pop the palm of your pop it in like some aspirin you would.
I was about to say, if you only caught 15 seconds of this podcast, the last 15 seconds would have had you thinking you were on an entirely different subject.
Part of me is thinking, you've never just done super fast shots of hand salt before? What are we dealing with here?
Am I going to lick it and then just take a swig of beer?
Yeah, sure. Or you can lick it and just kind of let it settle and just accept how salty your mouth is getting. But yeah.
And what's your theory, Ross?
My theory is that this beer is going to taste it's A, really good on top of that, and B, as the because the feeling in my mouth right now is the bitterness is still sticking around, and I want something to deal with that, and I am absolutely craving a mouthful of salt.
Okay, whatever. I'll do it then. Here we go.
All right. He is licking the salt. Salt licked. He's not happy with this whole situation.
No, it's fine.
I feel like you're not getting as much out of this experiment as I would have been. No?
It didn't do much for me. It's just no, it didn't work at all. I've still got bits of salt all over my lips as well, which I'm still licking off. No, that was thoroughly unpleasant, the whole thing.
I'm gonna go try this afterwards. I'm saving myself a couple of fingers to go and try this upstairs after we're done.
Okay, can I give you a score on this?
Well, don't give me the score with the salt in your mouth, but yes, you can.
I don't want another one.
I also don't, and it's the first time that's ever happened to me with Tanner. But I appreciate that this beer is basically saying, here's a weird hop variety. Kind of tastes like
Yeah.
grass and wildflowers.
I
I'm
dig
like,
it because I want to try different things now, and I'm into trying different IPAs because I'm on the bandwagon. I got there, and I want to try different IPAs and experience them because they're very different. We know that. That was definitely more of a Westie than an East Coast, but not the worst West Coast I've had. And like I say, there's a lot going on in that little
yeah,
473 can. There's a lot going on, a lot to digest. And it was what I will say. It was interesting. It wasn't just a big hop explosion in my face that I wasn't ready for. But I don't think I want another one. For a West Coast IPA, I think it was really pretty decent. But as a beer goes, for me personally, I'm giving it about a seven, maybe 7.5, 7.5. Yeah.
I was sort of at 7.5 as well.
Yeah. Yep.
But just
For hop lovers, by the way, even though it wasn't crazy hopping, I think my brother is going to dig it. He's never going to taste it. He's 3,000 miles away. But I think Ananda would. I really do think that he would find a lot to enjoy in that can.
That's the other thing I was going to mention was I should have done that with my 5 seconds of dead air that you gave me. But the availability, because I believe the Perfectly Unclear is in the LCs. I don't think the Comet is. You have to get yourself to the South Shore, Lunenburg or Chester for that. And I believe the ZZ Hop New England IPA, I think it's still available at Smokehouse locations. No, wait, there's just the one. They're just in Berwick now because I think they closed the Halifax.
They did.
Agricola. No, it doesn't matter if it was on Agricola or Gottingen, but not available in the LC. So you have to go straight to the location. So we're getting a little bit elitist and legitimate, I dare say, is going straight to the source and whatnot. Not being extremely helpful if you want to come in and drink along, which was. In the early days, one of our watchers and listeners' plans, they said, "Oh, if you let us know what you're having the day of," and then I started doing that, and no one has ever taken us up on that and saying, "Oh yeah, I got the same ones you did. I'm gonna drink along," because sometimes if we announce it day of or day before, you basically have 18 hours to drive to Tatamagouche and Antigonish and Yarmouth to drink.
Who ain't gonna do that?
Yeah, no.
Who ain't gonna do that?
Anybody got time for that?
Yeah.
But there it is. Yeah.
I'm going to have, I've not done this for a while. I'm going to have a glass of water, certainly a few swigs of water.
Really?
Because, yeah, I really need to refresh after that one. And probably because of the salt that's still on my lips. My lips still
I'm going to go
so
try
dry.
it. I think that you're just being a big curmudgeon about this whole thing. And I think it's a great idea. Oh, this can't. Oh. I'm sensing a bulge to my Smokehouse can, so I'm a little worried that maybe I've tipped it over one too many times. But we'll see. I hope it does not explode on me. It's just a little swollen, just because they fill their cans.
Okay.
So Smokehouse and Brewery out of here we go out of Berwick, Nova Scotia. Here is the ZZ Hop New England IPA. I say ZZ Hop and not ZZ Hop because I believe. And the picture on the back is any indication. This is a play on the band ZZ Top. And you don't call them ZZ Top in Canada, no matter how patriotic and nationalistic you want to be. So here is the description for the ZZ Hop New England IPA that is rolling in at our highest tonight at 6.7%. It do say, crank up the volume and get ready for a hop-forward experience like no other. Introducing ZZ Hop New England IPA, a Northeast-style IPA. There you go. So it's any IPA and a Northeast-style IPA. A Northeast-style IPA that's as bold and refreshing as the music that inspired it, packed with an explosive blend of juicy hops, tropical fruit notes, and a hazy, smooth finish. This beer is a true headbanger for hop lovers and craft beer enthusiasts alike. It's a hop-head, juicy New England IPA. I think this is going to go in the opposite direction from the Perfectly Unclear, because it was malt. It was malt forward. It was super malty, very sweet, very smooth, very creamy. I'm wondering if this is going to be a little on the other side of things.
The only thing I'm going to take the issue with on the back of the can is, seeing as they are obviously referring to the band ZZ Top when they're describing this. This IPA is as bold and refreshing as the music that inspires it.
Are you about to say that ZZ Top is not bold or refreshing?
No. Yes, I am going to say that when I think of ZZ Top's music, bold and refreshing doesn't come to mind. However, I appreciate the fact that they thought, let's make a connection to the band that we're obviously alluding to, but they weren't bold and refreshing. In fact, I think ZZ Top were pretty boring, don't you? They towed a rock and roll. I might come in for some real hate from you here and find out that I'm talking to the world's biggest ZZ Top fan, although maybe looking at you, maybe not.
No, I wouldn't say that.
But they're not. They tapped into a zeitgeist, and they just rolled out adult, sort of middle of the road AOR rock and roll for a pretty boring musical genre. However, what I want to say is this. Actually, clearly I'm not a fan of ZZ Top, but clearly what I want to say is this: that I love the fact that they did pun using ZZ Hop as the name of the brew, and the biggest pun that ZZ Top did was the quite famously, the guy without the beard was the only one called Beard. Whose name was Beard.
I did not.
You didn't know that? If you
No.
did not know that, please look that up and confirm that I'm not a lunatic and that that is true, and it's not just an urban myth that came out before the internet was invented. And I fell for it all these years.
Well, let's find out.
The two guys with huge long beards that you would have thought would have got caught in the spokes of their ludicrously big motorcycles in the 80s. The only guy that didn't have the beard, his name was Beard, was it not? You're nodding.
The drummer's full name is Frank Beard.
I'm not going crazy.
And
then.
he did
His name
not
was
have
Beard.
a beard.
He did not. No. Now that's the funniest thing.
That's excellent. That's phenomenal.
Isn't it? Can you change your backdrop now?
Oh yes, we're in Smokehouse. So the other thing I did look it up, and I went searching for is Ian wrong about stuff online, and what it told me was that the only information that it had about ZZ Top, I said, was ZZ Top unique? And they said yes. They were exceptionally unique in rock history. They're blending gritty Texas blues with hard rock. And I'm like, well, and later polished electronic. So music reinvention. They successfully bridged the gap between 70s blues boogie and 80s synth rock. And I think, who else might have done that? Like Aerosmith? I don't know, but I mean,
I'm not a fan of them either.
Okay, and that's fine. It was a tricky set of musical styles to remain, I guess, current and.
Anyway, at the end of the day,
I guess.
Hop rhymes with top, so that's good. And ZZ is definitely the Z is definitely the coolest letter in the alphabet. So the whole thing is going to be great.
Okay,
definitely.
Are you opening yours first? I'm a little worried. Mine is a little under pressure.
Oh shit! Yeah, it is.
Uh-oh.
Yep, it's all over the table. How did that happen? Oh, I did bring a piece of kitchen towel out. It disappeared.
Okay.
Well, I thought it did.
I'm a little scared, but this time I'm going to prepare myself. I do have a rag. Let's get this. Whoop, gonna knock that over. We'll get this under pressure.
I don't know why it did that.
I just don't want it to explode everywhere, I guess. Like, I don't want it to go up and away and around. It's probably all my turning around, all my flipping over of how this was all.
Well, I didn't do any of that, Ross, and it was hyper carbonated. It was in exactly the same place with exactly the same length of time as the other two, but it went all over the place.
Okay. Here we go. I'm going to try it.
All right. Yours is doing the same thing.
It is, but I was ready. I was absolutely ready for it. Here we go. It all went into the rag. Oh my goodness, I managed to not spray it all over the place. Let it be known here first. I'm quite impressed with myself here. All right, well, get in the glass there, sir. Oh, did I lose Ian?
That happens from time to time. That's my glass of froth right now. Yep. This could take a while to settle.
Ooh, but smell it. Smell that. I think we're back to the first one. We're back to the perfectly unclear. It smells very similar.
I think it's got a curious mix of both, actually. I don't think it's as tropical smelling as the first one. There's a slightly funky smell to it. We got this recently, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good.
You got some of these.
Slightly. When I say funky, I mean slightly dankier. Dankier? Is that? Can we use that word now?
Danky-esque.
Danky, yeah. Than the big tropical thing up front.
Danky
but not as much as the last one we had, which was obviously quite westy.
Its own, yeah. It was definitely in its own school. I feel this can be mildly comparable to the perfectly unclear, but again, we go through this all the time. Where if you have two IPAs, they can be such differing genres that they are incomparable entirely. Because there's so many of them, and there's so many subcategories.
Yeah, of IPAs.
You don't dare compare. I'm poeticizing without.
You're back to your Tennyson or your Hemingway there.
Apparently.
Right.
Oh, quotes. To quote.
It's hazy for sure. Lovely. It's more. It's paler than the aforementioned brews. Which both had a goldenness to them. This is it's paler, yellow, more straw coloured.
Yes, I was actually going to mention that with the perfectly unclear when we were pouring that. It wasn't that you were pouring a juice. Have you ever poured? Have you ever had an orange juice that's in your fridge that's a little bit past its expiration date?
Oh, I never let it go that long, Ross. If I ever have orange juice, it's gone because it's so refreshing.
Okay, because we've let it go, and it becomes, I don't want to say brown, but like a tan. It's more of a burnt sienna. It's between orange and brown, and it starts to go that way. And what color it does reach is that is the color of a really good. That's when you know you got a New England IPA, is when I look at it and I say, oh, that looks like an orange juice that's gone off. And I
look at the color of the can. I love actually the color of the can between the sort of tan color on top and the yellow color down below. The beer is a curious mixture of the two of them. It's almost like, isn't it beautiful? It's very artistic, and I don't know if that's coincidence, but if it is, what a coincidence. I'm still persevering with this. I don't think I'm going to get the whole can into this glass. I keep letting it settle, but it's having none of it. It's still a good.
Well, I've got my 16-ounce Smokehouse pint glass here.
Oh,
so, but a little bit did. I don't think I lost that much to the rag. I'll try not to say that quite with
The rag. I've
the
got quite a
ire
lot
of,
left in
oh
the
man, I
can.
sound like I'm angry at cleanup
I know.
fabrics.
I don't like drinking from the glass before the entire contents of the can have gone in, because as we both know,
It does
the
hurt me
stuff
as
down
well.
the bottom, yeah, the stuff down the bottom of the can is often the greatest stuff in it. The big sea monkeys are all down the bottom. Did you do the same with this one? Did you turn it upside down though, an hour beforehand, and let it settle?
Yeah,
Or
I did.
yeah.
I did. So hopefully it's going to be okay. I just poured a little too much into the pint glass, and it literally high school science project it baking soda volcanoed out of the glass, and it was actually kind of impressive. That was.
Do you remember those
pretty darn cool?
Those worms that you could do? Have we talked about this before? Those things. They came. There was a little pastel that looked like. It can't have been any bigger than maybe half a centimeter tall. It was round, and then you would light one end of it because you were at school and you carried a lighter with you. You know, I'm going back to the 80s, and then you lit it, and then it just took off and it grew. It burnt, and it grew to over like 2 feet long, like a big worm burning at one end. And this is the kind of thing
I
you've
have
heard.
never experienced one personally, but I have seen and heard they do exist. I don't think that you're just making stuff up.
No, good. I did that. Well, that looked a bit like that. The way this was growing out of the top of my
Look at that.
top of my glass.
Look at that. It's like a tequila sunrise. Look, it's all sort of multi orange at the top, maybe a little paler at the bottom. This is a good sunset kind of beer here. How are we thinking? Are we ready for a
Yeah, I'm getting a mixture of the two. From the smell, it's tropical. Whoops.
It's certainly more New England IPA than it is, magical weird hop Comet IPA experiment.
Well, I think this is going to be maltier, to be honest, than the Perfectly Unclear. Really? But that's not necessarily a bad thing. One of my favorite IPAs, NEIPA, was the Alternate Reality. Was the maltier ones that was our gateway into IPAs, the maltier versions. And if this is a slightly maltier version of a juicy, hazy Northeast IPA, hey, this could be really something.
Exactly. Well, that's why the Perfectly Unclear, I think, I'm going to mention that to Todd Beale, because he was the one, I heard him, he was interviewed on Afternoon Pint saying that Alternate Reality was his favorite new beer. And I went, well, I guess we better give it a try then. And we did, and it was game-changing. So we got to get in there. We just have to drink more beer. That's the problem.
More beer.
It's more hours.
Okay, well, we'll start now.
Cheers. Ooh. Okay.
And it is.
There's the carbonation. That was difficult to drink too much of. So it is fizzier than any of the others. But
yes.
Yum. Something coming at the end.
There we go. I've got all of it in. I've finally got all of it in.
Last little flavor.
There is a bitterness, Ross. There is a slight pininess to this. Yeah.
Because we were talking about how subtle that bitterness is in the Perfectly Unclear, and when it came through, it was more like a I thought it was more like a hop flavor without the bitterness, but it was a much smoother bitterness, whereas this is more of a traditional. Here's the hop bitterness at the tail end of the mouthfeel. Yes.
It's almost a slightly hoppier pale ale. Do you know what I mean? Without it going into the IPA territory. It's refreshing. But there's still some bitterness to it that the Perfectly Unclear lacks. If that's a harsh word, because it makes it sound as if it
should have it, yeah.
And we know it isn't. But this has a bite to it that the Perfectly Unclear doesn't, which then sort of leads it to more of a Westy feel. It's calling itself a Northeast IPA or New England IPA.
It is. It's true.
No, Northeast IPA.
This is
So therefore,
reminding me more of the Galaxy, the Propeller Galaxy, that is available on tap in a lot of establishments across Nova Scotia. It's the Galaxy has become my go-to when I go to a place and I say, "Hey, oh, we've got
yeah.
craft beer, we've got Coors and we've got Molson and we've got this and that." And if you're really lucky, you could get something interesting, but for the most part, you can almost always get a Propeller Galaxy, which is
Uh,
yum. And
yeah,
this
good.
is not too far off from it. I would.
It's unfiltered. Look at that. It's
Oh, it's
completely
gorgeous.
opaque. I've got the bottom of the whole thing in there now, and everything's in there. The rind, everything's the zest, the whole 9 yards. It's all in there, and I can
Yes.
see it all floating around in the bottom. It's juicy for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Very, very hazy. That's gone. That's complete. You can't see. You can't. I'm doing John Cena. You can't see me. And it's.
Think you know who John Cena was?
I'm surprised you do. I got that for my kids about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have known. It is definitely less tropical and um, yeah, less tropical fruits I find than the perfectly unclear, with the exception of it's quite grapefruity.
I think they're all there. It is still tropical, but the tropical flavor is. Do you know what the only thing this one seems to be suffering from is an overwhelming carbonation, and I feel like the carbonation is lessening the juicy flavor at the front. Where
Okay.
I can't reach that juicy that grapefruit that citrus that I want because there's
Oh,
all of
really?
this carbonation in the way saying "Brah, bubbly," and I'm getting
Okay.
an interruption of carbonation.
Well, I'm glad I got it all in the glass in the end because it tastes better now than it did without the rest of it
All of the
going
brew,
in.
yes.
So yeah, also the best stuff was definitely in the bottom of the can. And I guess I've got to do what you do now and start turning it upside down beforehand and letting it all filter down the can so that when you turn it up the right way, in theory, it's all there, isn't it?
In
That's why you
theory,
do that.
in theory,
Yeah, in theory. It's it's not as tropical and as thirst quenching. It's still it's still got a bitterness to it that I suppose I really should be appreciating more because that's what gives it the IPA-ness. Um, I'm still. I think it's no secret. I still prefer the perfectly unclear by the way I'm describing it.
as do
However,
I. But this is no slouch. This is
no,
no
it's not.
slouch. And on
No,
pretty much any other night, going up against other New England IPAs, I think this is going to broach big numbers.
I
But
think it's really good.
on its own, because I think we are now pretty valid in our high scorings of the perfectly unclear, which just oh, it's just nectar. But this is still quite good. Definitely worthy of high eights for me.
I think there's plenty of people that would prefer this to the perfectly unclear because they might find the perfectly unclear
Also
just a
true.
little bit too sweet. They might find it almost like fruit juice, and if they still want to be drinking a beer, and this is definitely a bitter and more. It's actually getting better the more I'm drinking of it. I'm enjoying it more now than I was at the top of it. I'm really beginning to appreciate this now. And by the way, uh, I know I wasted a bit of it over the table because it was really, really quite overcarbonated. Look at it though; it's hanging in there.
Oh yes.
There's a great creaminess to it, and it's hanging down the glass.
But I think
I'm appreciating this more and more as I'm going down the glass.
again the messy pour and the heady pour is definitely making me like it enough, and without the perfectly clear on the table, the ZZ top or sorry the ZZ hop, I would say yeah I'd have another of those.
I
A
would too, Rebecca.
6.7 tasty New
Would you?
England IPA, yes, I would have another one of those. It
I would.
does venture a bit more on the bitter side than I would like in a New England IPA, so I think that's why I'm dropping it to high eights as opposed to low nines.
There's someone over there. She just waddled over. Bless her. She does this all for science because
Waddle.
you did kind of waddle a little bit.
Yeah, but
You
you're
did a
not
little
supposed
waddle.
to point out that you're
You did a kind of when you came over.
Waddled over.
That's a
She did a waddle.
sachet. You get,
Oh, that's okay.
yeah.
What can you give? Can you give me a completely?
She dusty gunslingered her way across the sitting room.
It's very, very hazy and.
It's
I'm not going to try to do the face again.
It's just it bites.
For the waddle.
Try and do the
Yeah, you're
waddle.
still getting, and you deserve
I'm
you
gonna stop
deserve a
with this.
face for the waddle comment. I'll tell you that. My wife was pregnant for a full 8.5 months, and I never said the word waddle.
Well, then I apologize. I didn't mean it in any way. What do you think? What do you think? It's not bad.
Okay.
It's better than the last one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's more northeast. It's more New England.
Poor comment.
It's less tropical.
Yeah.
Is it more grapefruity? You find
Yeah.
there's an acidity to it,
It's a little rindish.
a little rindish.
Yeah.
It's a little rindish.
And
Okay.
all sorts of
I'm
fun
appreciating
words.
it more as I'm going down the glass. I'm getting quite gassy now because this is gassier.
It
a
is.
little gassy
Oh, it's
now.
gassy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
This. Thank you very much. You can waddle away. She didn't walk toward me like a little.
Stop saying
I know.
that word.
I have to stop. I have to stop. And by the way, it was out of the corner of my eye. I may have completely misinterpreted it, but there we are. It's so
I think she
hazy.
was approaching you already in a menacing fashion. She was getting ready to
Yeah.
to whip
I
out
do.
the pistols. And
I do say the
guns at
damnedest
dawn.
things, especially when I've had a beer. This is. Ross. This gets better the further I go down the glass.
I'm still
For me.
finding it very fizzy, very carbonated, and I don't know if the carbonation is leading to the bitter back end or if it's just adding to it. But it's the bitter at the back end is really popping.
Yeah.
It's got a bite. It's got a really huge bite to it at the end, and personally, I don't like a bite at the end, but
Okay.
I think if someone really likes a good carbonated, a biting hop at the tail end of a beer, this is it's quite good. It's honestly, I think this is basically a Propeller Galaxy, but with a bite.
Interesting, because I like Galaxy as well. I really like this, and I wasn't sure if I was going to, but the more I have of it, the more the more this is doing it for me, and it's I can't believe. Look at that. The head is still there, but it's not just like a big gassy thing. It's a creamy head, and it stayed with it all the way down the glass, and the whole thing is coating my mouth. It's 6.7, by the way.
It's
Yeah, so it's kind of it's
we're
strong
only
as well.
0.5 up from where we started. So between a 6.2 and a 6.7, what's
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I hear
All
you.
we are saying is give
Yeah.
ABVs a chance, really, at this point.
I'm into this now. I really am. And it took me a little while, but would I have another one of these? Yeah, I really would. I would have another one right now because I want to have the whole experience in a large glass. I prefer not to be. I don't know how that happens. Is it a whole batch that's just tiny little bit over carbonated? Therefore, as soon as you pop that can, even though you haven't disturbed it, it just goes crazy.
I get some attitude in that can, that's for certain.
Yeah, you and I can get that with our home brews because we're amateurs. But microbrewers, I know they're still doing it on a fairly small scale, but they know what they're putting into their cans, and they would know it. You would hope to have exactly the right quantities before they quote unquote mass produce their beers. So I don't know why that would happen. That it goes crazy when you open the can. But regardless, and that aside, this is a really delicious Northeast IPA. Terrible puns aside, because ZZ Top. I wish it was called, I don't know, Oat Cake Computer or something like one of those other rock bands that I really
Well,
really like.
okay,
The
well,
pun in
here's the thing that I don't get. If it's
Mm.
what is so ZZ Top about this? And honestly, I'm probably going to agree with you
I
now.
don't know.
As a bold and refreshing as the music, like I like it. I do like ZZ Top, but what I found about it was it merged some sounds, and it made this beautiful grinding sound out of some very traditional. It mixed blues with rock in a really
Mm.
in a fresh way. Like, it's very difficult to get young kids interested in what appears to be
Mm.
very dudes with very long beards are coming up, and they're just gonna, but you have to get that grindy, that beautiful grindy distortion on it, like, and you get a little bit of the blues rock in there. And blues rock in the late 70s, early 80s, did you just capture the imagination by, oh, you were the dudes with the long beards and the big hats and the sunglasses, you were just those guys? Or did you catch it with what I think it's catchy. I think there was a way to write music that was, oh no, because you can write music in two ways. And I was going to mention this tonight to you at some point. Have you oh, here we go. Okay, you're not you don't really scour the internet for too many interesting things, but has a local, I say a local band, but a French Canadian band, this duo from Quebec, and they go by Angine de Poitrine, and they dress in polka dot strange costumes. Their identities are, they're not Alex and Ted. They are Angine de Poitrine, and they're two dudes, and they've dressed up in huge, over-the-top polka dotted costumes, so nobody knows their true identities, but they're releasing music. And
Mm.
it's not lyrical. It's all very instrumental, but
Mm.
there's a lot of really impressive stuff. They've been described as French Canadian Primus because it's
Mm.
slightly atonal, but
Mm.
what's really going on, I've been watching videos on the time signatures are all over the place, so it's very
Mhm.
complicated. It's also math rock has come up a lot. Like when you go,
Mhm.
here we go with a 7/12 time signature straight into a 6/4, and you're like, okay, and the nerds are
6/4's okay.
really excited. But at the same time,
Yeah.
I listen to it and I'm like, this is funky. I'm just my monkey, my very base caveman monkey brain says I like the sound of this, and I don't quite get why. ZZ Top, not to comparing to nerd math rock, but I feel like ZZ Top was kind of a here we go, and she's got legs, she knows how to use them. Every girl crazy about a sharp dressed man, and it's that grindy part of the. It was pop rock, but it was pop rock in a really solidified way. Sometimes when you listen to rock music and it feels like it's clay bricks stacked upon clay bricks in a way that you don't think the house will ever fall down.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It,
It's
it, it
boring.
was that. It was that to me. It was clay brick. It was very, very well structured. And the cool thing about that is I feel like that's what makes the metaphor lasts for me. Music that won't get it won't just be passed over. It's not a flash in the pan. You can go up to anybody on the street and you just be all sharp, she's got legs, and everyone's like, oh, she knows how to use them, and everyone kind of knows the licks. And it wasn't complicated guitar solos. It was very rudimentary, very fundamental licks
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
melodies and just core stuff that you could build anything on top of. It wasn't
That's
fragile.
probably why I find it boring
Okay.
because look, I've never ever even I've been to an AC/DC concert. I have actually paid money and gone to an AC/DC concert. But as popular as they are around here, and they will be forevermore, I find the AC/DC style of music really boring. I find ZZ Top's style of music boring only because. By the way, this is not
This is not
saying
about beer.
anything
I'm
about
still
this
drinking
beer.
beer
This
as
is
we have
about
this
music.
conversation, but
What I'm saying is, I find it.
we're a closeted rock nerd podcast, and we've known this for at least 4
Oh,
years.
absolutely. No, but what I find interesting in music, in musical, in certain musical genres, is where it's uncertain, is where it teeters on doing something, on falling down, on doing something exciting, and where it feels like it might not work, and therefore I find that exciting rather than just dink and dink and dink and dink and dink and dink, when you know exactly where it's going to go at every turn. And therefore the classic status quo ZZ Top, and I put AC/DC in that, I find them intensely boring because it's just solid blues rock, and you know exactly where it's going to go. It's never going to change, and it does it very solidly. It does it very well, but it's so unexciting because of it. And I get a lot more out of a band that's experimenting and doing something that might not work, that is thinking outside the box, and it is never done before, and it might fail horribly, but at least they're taking risks and taking chances. And ZZ Top, we're never taking chances.
I do agree with the premise. I don't fully
Okay.
agree with ZZ Top not taking chances, but I agree with the premise that music is boring when chances are not taken, and music can be very, very fundamentally boring with the three chord Monty, and everyone comes up, and you've heard one folk song, you've heard them all, which is why.
And country and new country is a perfect example of it.
It's a complete write-off. We don't even need to
Yeah.
discuss that. But
Yeah.
here's the one that I'm very curious about, because this has happened to me several times, and people try to get me to listen to music, and I listen to it, and then I think this was supposed to be groundbreaking at the time. This is changing everything, and this was what is known as sort of the foundation of a certain music style, and this is what you're basing it all. You're listening to this music and saying, yes, this is different, and this is amazing, and this is impressive. And I, for the life of me, probably will not get for the rest of my life, the popularity and the credit and the idolation that goes towards the Ramones.
Okay. Yeah.
Explain to me how 3 chords make 20 songs.
Yeah.
And you are, the Ramones are what invented this style of music. Yeah. It's 3 chords, and it's the same melody backwards, forwards, and we changed a little bit here, but it's literally the same song.
Yeah, I'll agree with you.
Okay, I was curious about that, because now that I know how you feel about ZZ Top, I wonder how he feels about the Ramones, because I feel I give certain bands a pass for being kind of basic, but catchy, because I'm like, okay, you've figured out the formula that gets you to the top 10. You've sort of said, music's a little boring, but if you whip a little, a 5th and a 9th chord in here, and you just slap in one of these melodies, then woo, straight to the top, here we go.
They had a formula as well, though, so therefore they knew what worked, and it tapped into into a certain formula that certain people who were rebelling against the norm could say, this is my band, it's kind of angry, it's punky, and this is what we do. We go in here, we slam ourselves against each other, and the Sex Pistols did the same, but there was a little bit more to the Sex Pistols. But the Ramones,
I will happily agree to that, because the Sex Pistols took a little bit of thinking
well,
to get and enjoy.
there was
Oh
there
my
was
God,
there was an awful
no,
lot behind that as
the
well.
Ramones
But
was
I
that was
found the Ramones.
emergency room music. That was if you were somewhere
Yeah.
and you had recently suffered a blow to the head, you loved that music.
I appreciate though also that the Ramones were part of a whole movement that were rebelling against the establishment and the rock establishment. So I get that, but I also find their music intensely boring. That's me. Okay, good. And
I can fall into
perfect.
that.
Yeah,
We wander into the rock nerddom an awful lot.
we always do that.
I sent you a song that I think you need to listen. This is the Angine de Poitrine one. If the image of the video scares you, it should. They're supremely weird but incredibly talented. You should check that out.
But you know also, Ross, that you and I both love, and I love experimental music. Therefore, I really appreciate experimental beers too. But on that one, we both love the weird Radiohead stuff as opposed to straight up. We love the rockier stuff as well, but we love the experimental blippy stuff. Arcade Fire always think outside the box and push things a little bit. Okay, the Beatles. No one can look me in the eye and say I don't like the Beatles, because I will say to them, well, then you don't like music, because they are so eclectic. Right from in 8 years, they produced the most amazing eclectic collection of songs and moved everything on.
I have met people that have told me they don't like the Beatles.
I have one in my family, and I'll never understand it. I
Successfully written them off.
You write them off. And early prog Genesis with Peter Gabriel do wild and wonderful things, because nothing's ever the same. It's all taking away the formula and doing something completely weird. And like you said, weird time signatures.
We need five or six more people, and then we just need to. We'll do a different podcast on a different time night of the week.
Yeah, I know.
And we'll talk about. We just need to get into
not music.
It just needs to get into music.
Can I go back then? I'm going to go back and do my thing. I'm going to take the second one first. Yeah, I know. I'm going to take the second one first because I want to.
You're Ray Fiennes on Quiz Show. Well done.
Oh, that's a great movie. I love that movie.
But didn't they always say, "Can I have the second part first, please?" When they ask that of what was the host? It was Christopher. He played the bad guy in everything. Can't remember his name.
I like the Comet IPA for a slightly West Coast version of IPA. I really, really like it. And the reason why I went for that one now is because I think it's halfway. The other one is halfway between the two.
The ZZ Top is in between the two. I agree. Yes, it
is. It is. So I'm going to go back now to the first one. Oh God, it's so good. It's not even. It's almost like one of those things where you say, "But is it beer, or is it just an orange juice that quenches my thirst?" It's so tropical. It's almost not beer.
It's
so the beeriest one is probably the Comet IPA.
I think
what I mean?
The Smokehouse ZZ Top is the most beery flavored, is the most beer tasting one. If you just someone who has only ever had Budweiser in their entire life, the ZZ Hop makes the most sense. But I really like the ZZ Hop as well. If I gave Perfectly Unclear a 9.5, and I did, and I stick with it because it's so good. Great example of a hazy tropical, so refreshing Northeast. It's one of the best Northeast IPAs I've ever had. New England IPAs I've ever had. Yep.
9.5. The ZZ Hop, I really like it too. It got better and better. It's a 9.2.
Okay. I gave it an 8.8.
I really like it. Okay.
I gave it an 8.8.
And the Comet IPA, as being a bit more Westy, I really dug it as well.
You want to up your 7.5?
I went back to it and went, my God, that's actually really good. Can I give it an 8? I'm going to give it an 8.
8.0?
Yeah.
I knew it was going to start. I already typed in 8 because I knew you were changing
You
your
did that.
mind. I had the 8 in there. I didn't think it was going to go as low as 0, but okay. I don't have this all figured out just yet.
But all this does is confirm that one, I really, really like IPAs now, all the way from the west, 5,000 miles across to the east. I kind of really like them all. Two, I'm not a lover of ZZ Top
No.
or sort of generic rock music. And three, I've got to go and apologise to Rebecca because when I said waddle, I didn't mean anything other than she walked a bit like a duck when she walked over because she did that, and I love it.
Stop explaining it. Just no. Just give up.
Just let
Do
it go.
not. No. Don't explain it further. Just walk it back. Say I don't
Oh,
know.
and
No.
never
Here
ever.
are the words. Don't know why I said waddle.
Yeah, no, just let it go. And
Let
four,
it go.
never ever have salt
I gotta go
with
try that.
beer. It
I'm
just
gonna go
doesn't
try that, and
work.
I'm gonna find it delicious. I don't care.
I'm out of here. Good night,
All
mate.
right. Thank you very much to Ian and of course Rebecca for joining me. Thank you to Tanner and company, Danny Tanner there, Smokehouse Brewery and the Half Cocked Brewery out in North. Oh my God, help! North Grant, outside of Antigonish County, there for making the beers that we did try tonight. We're here every Wednesday for an hour on our YouTube page, youtube.com/@drinknsdry. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. You can find our podcast in all the podcasty places. You can check out some of the shorts that we put up on the YouTube page or sometimes the Instagram or TikTok, I think, and we're like. Sorry, it's Drink NS Dry and all those places where you can go straight to the source at drinkns.unsupervised.beer. But again, here every week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. So we'll see you again next week. Have a good night.